If you think about moving to Surrey, stick around till the end because I'm going to expose the biggest mistake buyers make here, and it's one of the fastest way people lose money without realizing it. All right, let's get straight into it. This is a real, honest, no bull breakdown of the pros and cons of living in Surrey, British Columbia, all of the things people don't tell you, everything you should expect, and everything you should absolutely know before you move here. If you ever want the Surrey neighborhood guide or a breakdown of what pocket fits your lifestyle best, you can shoot me a text at 604-288-7592. Pro number one is Surrey is one of the fastest growing cities in all of Canada. Surrey is growing at a pace most cities can't even comprehend. It's literally on track to surpass Vancouver in population. Surrey's growth is fueled by immigration, young families, diverse neighborhoods, job expansion, upcoming transit, a massive land base, and way more room to build than most lower mainland cities. What this means is you're buying into a city that's developing forward and not decaying backwards. More investment means more infrastructure, means more demand, which also means more opportunity. Pro number two is you get way more space for your money than in Vancouver. So let's be honest, some Vancouver prices are absolutely insane. For the price of an older Vancouver condo, you can get a newer Surrey condo or even a townhouse or maybe even a starter single family home depending on the area. Surrey gives you options, and that's why a lot of buyers are choosing here. If you want a balance of affordability, lifestyle, and long-term potential, Surrey is a good pick. Pro number three is Surrey has some of the best parks, green spaces, and trails in the lower mainland. This is something that nobody realizes until they actually explore Surrey. We're talking about Tynehead Regional Park, Bear Creek Park, Green Timbers, Redwood Park, Surrey Bend, Crescent Beach, Elgin Heritage Park, Serpentine Fen, and Campbell Valley nearby. These spots are incredible. They have huge greenery, clean trails, nature everywhere. And if you're the type of person who wants space, parks for kids, dog walks, and places to unwind, Surrey does have quite a few options. And this is one of the major reasons people pick Surrey. Pro number four is you have a real neighborhood variety, more than almost every neighborhood in BC. This is one of the biggest strengths of Surrey because there is a neighborhood for literally every single lifestyle. Here's the breakdown. Fleetwood is a quiet, family-heavy neighborhood with great schools and the SkyTrain station coming. Cloverdale is suburban, safe. There's schools, yards, and good community vibes. Guildford is more central with the Guildford Mall and has great connectivity with the highway right next to it. Newton is a lot more diverse and affordable with a lot of redevelopment coming. Fraser Heights have large homes, top schools, and it's more quiet and a little bit more upscale. South Surrey or White Rock has beaches, a high-end feeling, parks, and some of the best schools in the lower mainland. And Surrey Central is an urban downtown core with high-rises, universities, and a transit hub. Surrey is basically 10 cities in one. The lifestyle difference between Fleetwood and Surrey Central feels like different provinces. And that is a strength if you pick the right pocket. Pro number five is massive long-term infrastructure growth. Between the SkyTrain expansion, the new UBC Surrey campus, road upgrades, hospital expansions, and new business districts, Surrey is investing billions into its future. You have the Surrey Langley SkyTrain, which is opening in 2029, the UBC Surrey campus, which is under construction, the Surrey Hospital expansion, SFU Surrey growth, entertainment district vision, road widenings and overpass projects, new schools opening yearly, and Surrey is literally being rebuilt in real time. If you're thinking long-term, this matters. You want to buy into momentum and not stagnation. And Surrey right now is momentum. Number six is the food scene is ridiculously good. This is one of the most underrated benefits. Surrey has some of the best multicultural food scenes in the province. Everything from Indian, Pakistani, Filipino, Korean, Afghan, Persian, Vietnamese, Japanese, Mexican, Caribbean, Middle Eastern, and the list goes on. You will never run out of new places to try. Surrey's food is pretty elite. Pro number seven is future appreciation potential is strong. People underestimate Surrey. Every time it says Surrey won't grow, it grows even harder. Here's why. Surrey is one of the biggest landscapes in the lower mainland, has the most room to densify. There's major population growth, major transit, school, and hospital expansions, massive immigration intake, a new downtown forming in Surrey Central. Vancouver affordability is pushing people outward. Major employers are moving further east, and the UBC and SFU campuses are anchoring the entire area. If you're thinking 5 to 15 years out, Surrey is on many investors' radars. Surrey today is Burnaby basically 15 years ago. And look what happened to Burnaby. And I'm not going to sugarcoat these because if you're moving here, you do have to know the truth. Con number one is Surrey is huge and it's a double-edged sword. Surrey geographically is massive. And because it's so big, experiences may vary wildly. depending on where you live. Example, Surrey Central is very dense, it's urban, and it's loud. Fraser Heights is quiet, suburban, and upscale. Newton is more affordable, but it's very busy and has growth potential. South Surrey can be beachy, relaxed, and have a premium or more luxurious feel. Fleetwood is calm with pretty good schools and transit on the way. Cloverdale is suburban and very family heavy. So the challenge is people say, I want to live in Surrey, but it doesn't really mean anything because two streets can feel like completely different cities. And if you don't pick the right sub-neighborhood, you can easily end up with the wrong lifestyle. And end of the day, this is the #1 cause of buyer regret in Surrey. Con number 2 is Surrey's reputation scares people even when it's not accurate. This is the elephant in the room. Surrey definitely has a stigma, especially Surrey Central and Whalley. People have heard Surrey is dangerous, Surrey is sketchy, Surrey has crime issues, better safe than Surrey. The truth is, Surrey is massive and crime is heavily concentrated in a few specific pockets, not across the entire city. Places like Fleetwood, Cloverdale, Fraser Heights, and South Surrey, these areas are extremely calm, family-oriented, clean, and desirable. Surrey is not a monolith, but the reputation exists and it affects how some outsiders perceive the city. Con number 3 is that traffic is a real thing, especially in certain routes. Like most fast-growing cities, infrastructure sometimes lags behind population growth. Choke points include 152nd, 88th, 100th, King George, Nordell, Scott Road, bridge congestion, Highway 1, and Surrey Central during peak hours is absolutely insane sometimes. So if you work downtown Vancouver, expect a serious commute unless you live near a SkyTrain. This is why picking the right neighborhood matters, because someone in Guildford might have a completely different commute reality than someone in South Surrey. Con number 4 is Surrey Central is still a little rough around the edges. Surrey Central is transforming, but it's not done. Some of the pros include the new SFU campus, UBC coming, tons of high rises, new restaurants, a new bus loop, upgraded streets, more density, more amenities, more jobs, and more investment. And some of the cons are visible drug issues, homelessness, some safety concerns at night, transitional areas, and some inconsistent development. But if we're being real, this is exactly what early stage growth looks like. Look at Burnaby before Metrotown exploded. Look at Coquitlam Center before the SkyTrain. These discomfort phases usually come before massive transformation. Con number 5 is lots of construction, especially in growth areas. If you're living near Fleetwood, Guildford, Surrey Central, Newton, or Cloverdale, you're pretty much going to hear construction all the time. You will hear construction. New condos, new townhomes, road widening, new commercial, SkyTrain guideway, utility upgrades. This is the price of a rapidly growing city, and some people don't mind it, whereas other people absolutely hate it. Just expect the noise. Con number 6 is some areas are extremely competitive. Surrey is competitive, especially in South Surrey, Fraser Heights, Fleetwood, Clayton, Cloverdale border, Tynehead area, new transit-oriented pockets, and school-heavy zones. Homes here get lots of attention. Multiple offers can be common if the deal is good enough during strong markets, and inventory can disappear fast. If you want the best pockets, you need to be aggressive and prepared. Con number 7 is you need to understand the micro neighborhoods. This isn't like Langley where neighborhoods feel distinct but consistent. Surrey is patchwork. You can be driving through beautiful family streets, turn a corner, and boom, it's a totally different vibe. This is why Surrey is one of the most buyer beware markets in the entire province. One street makes a difference. One school catchment makes a difference. And one boundary line changes everything. A lot of buyers' mistakes in Surrey come down to not understanding the micro locations. And one extra con of moving to Surrey is going through the growing pains. This is the part that is pretty apparent. Surrey is transforming from a large suburb to a major metropolitan hub. And with that comes density, construction, a temporary mess, rising prices, infrastructure catching up, shifting neighborhood boundaries, new cultures blending, new business districts forming, and perception lagging behind the reality. This transition is normal, but if you don't know this going in, you might feel overwhelmed. Surrey is basically the Burnaby or Coquitlam of the next decade, but it has the potential to be even bigger. So this is the #1 pro in my opinion, and I think Surrey has the highest long-term upside in the entire Lower Mainland. So this is what people stick around to here. Surrey has population growth, land supply, massive transit investment, major university expansions, UBC and SFU, new hospital upgrades, new downtown forming, extremely diverse housing options, huge immigration inflows, rapid job growth, massive business investment, affordability advantage over Vancouver, and a geographic positioning along the transit spine. So all of this in a combination is extremely rare. Surrey's not perfect, but it's one of the highest upside long-term plays in all of BC right now. And if you buy in the right pocket and hold long-term, you could be setting yourself up extremely well. So let's just go over some of the biggest buyer mistakes that happen in Surrey, and these are some of the mistakes that happen the most frequently. Mistake number one is buying into the wrong micro neighborhood, and this is the number one regret. Again, 2 blocks can make or break your entire experience of Surrey. Mistake number 2 is not planning commute patterns, because Surrey is huge, and do not underestimate the distance and congestion. Mistake number 3 is not buying near growth corridors. The SkyTrain does mean long-term demand, and avoiding growth areas is leaving money on the table. Mistake number 4 is believing the myth Surrey is dangerous without actually visiting. Most of Surrey is actually extremely safe, calm, and family friendly. Mistake number 5 is rushing into new construction without vetting the developer. Some Surrey developers are great and some are not. Mistake number 6 is ignoring school catchments. Surrey's school boundaries matter a lot. Mistake number 7 is expecting Vancouver polish everywhere. Surrey is growing but is not fully polished, and that's where the opportunity is. So if you're thinking about moving to Surrey and you're stuck between Surrey, Langley, Maple Ridge, or Abbotsford and want an honest breakdown of what city actually fits your lifestyle, just shoot me a text at 604-288-7592. I'll send you my Surrey neighborhood breakdown to help you understand the real pros and the real cons to make sure you don't make the same mistake most buyers make here. Thanks for watching. So hit the like button, make sure to subscribe for more real estate breakdowns, and I'll see you in the next one.